So I want to talk to you about full method. That's when I have a product that's already factored, and I'm going to use the one that I solved for in my previous video. So say I factored and I got all this and I'm unsure, or you're given this and was told to put it in quadratic format, or multiply, distribute. There's many ways of wording it. We're going to use full method. Why? Because inside the parentheses is a binomial. We have a variable term minus a constant term, a variable term minus a constant term. Binomial times binomial means we can use full method. So using the full method, F stands for the first term. So I'm going to have x times x. And I'm going to just put plus here, and I'll show you why I'm doing it. You don't have to, but I am. O stands for our outer terms. Well, my outer terms is x times negative 6. See, I'm carrying my sign with whatever it is, and I'm going to put it in parentheses so it's easier to just say plus, and then we'll solve what sign it's going to be in the end. And I'm going to say plus. I stands for my inner terms, right? So I have negative 1 times x, and I'm going to say plus. Now we're going to do our last terms, and I'm going to go ahead and use this purple ink. My last terms in each parentheses, and this one stands for last term, and it is negative 1 times negative 6. So now let's clean up and simplify. X times x, well, the product rule of exponents means if I multiply like bases, I add the power. So I have a power 1 plus a power 1 gives me x squared. I have a positive x times negative 6 gives me a negative 6x. I have negative 1 times positive x gives me a negative x. I have a negative 1 times a negative 6. Negative times negative is positive. We're almost done. We're going to have to clean up by combining any like terms. And what I notice, that these two middle ones are like terms. So I have x squared. If I'm in the hole $6 and I spend one more dollar, I'm in the hole $7. And then let's bring down this plus 6. And we are completely done. This is written in the most simplified format, right? Everything's combined that can be combined. It's in descending order. And if I was to ask you what's the leading degree, you could say 2 because that is the highest power. If I ask you what's the leading coefficient, you'd say 1. If I ask you what's all the coefficients, you'd say 1, negative 7, 6. If I ask you what's the variable terms, x squared and negative 7x. If I ask you what's the constant terms, you'd say 6. And this is complete.